Welcome back, friends, to the shop. So today's video was inspired by one of my subscribers that found himself in a very difficult situation and asked what I would have done. I thought we might be onto something here, where you guys can give me impossible situations and I'll try to figure out MacGyver-style solutions. What happened was he had taken a girl out on a date and they decided to drive up to the mountains and go play in the snow. Well, they got up there a little bit too far. He slipped off the side of the road, got stuck in his truck, couldn't get out, and they were in bad shape. No one knew where they were at. They didn't have any matches, no way to start a fire or anything. And once the engine ran out of gas, they almost froze to death before someone finally came up and found them. Well, I can show you how you could have made things a whole lot easier with the tools that you probably had on hand. I'm willing to bet this young man's experience would have been a whole lot better had he been able to get a fire going. But I'll bet he had everything he needed to start a fire. So he said he didn't have any matches or anything or any survival kit. Well, all you would have needed is a battery in your car and a chunk of wire. Well, your car is full of wire, right? It's got all sorts of wiring harnesses and stuff up front. No, I don't like to cut into wiring harnesses either, but choose something that's non-essential. Choose something that maybe goes to a parking light or something on the front that can be easily repaired. And being a Wranglerstar subscriber, there's no question that you have a pocket knife on you, right? So just choose something small. We don't want anything heavy. If you do this with a wire that's too heavy, like a chunk of battery cable or something, you're going to blow up your battery and you're going to have bigger problems. You're going to have battery acid all over everything, right? So strip the insulation off, and I want you to pull out about 3 or 4 of these little strands in here. I'm going to take out 4. Separate that, and then we'll pull those guys out. Of course, I had choose to grab a chunk of marine grade wire there. It's the toughest stuff on the planet. Okay, here we go. So we're going to separate. We're going to separate. Looks like I got 4 strands right there. Now weave those guys together. Now you should have a pair of jumper cables. That's going to make things a whole lot easier. If you don't have jumper cables, no problem. Just cut the wire long enough to bridge between the positive and the negative terminal. You can do the same thing right there. Just, be careful. Hopefully you got some gloves on right there. So we're going to weave this together. Now you're going to need something to wrap around this. Imagine what we're basically creating here is a filament or a wire that's going to short out when we connect it to the battery and create a bunch of heat and turn red hot, just like an old incandescent light bulb. You're going to need something dry. This is some dryer lint, just as an example, but you can look around in what's in your bottom of your pockets. Look in the glove box. There's going to be a collection of debris and garbage and stuff there. You can cut into your upholstery if you have to. Look on the back side of your carpet. You can take some of that pile off of there, and you're basically going to kind of try to weave that wire around that just so it makes contact as much as possible. Now get these ends over here where you can get them either on the battery terminal or on your jumper cable, right? Now before you do this, this is going to flash. This is a light flashy fuel. It's not going to burn very long. Make sure you go out and get some shavings and different things and whatever you're going to need to keep it going, right? I mean, if you have to burn stuffy part of your car to get a fire going, so be it. But you want to keep your car intact so you can at least have some shelter. All right, once you get that on there, if we touch these across here, make the connection, those wires being small are not going to cause the battery to explode, but they will produce enough heat that we can typically get this tinder going here. And there you have it. That's why now this is the critical time. You want to, if it's dry time, make sure you get some leaves or different things that you can pile on there. But you can easily start a fire with a battery, no problem whatsoever. Jumper cables, again, not required. Just make sure you take precautions. Use small wire, just a couple little threads like I showed you there, and not something big and fat. If you try to put something fat and try to jump that across that battery, like the size of these jumper cables, these batteries can explode. You're going to have all sorts of problems. But that's what I would have done. Build yourself a big old fire. Having a fire when you're lost helps a lot, just psychologically. It kind of helps you to focus and not to panic, because panic is usually the thing that kills guys. You best to stay with your car unless you know for sure you can walk out to help. But once you have a fire, with all of the resources that you have with a vehicle, there shouldn't be any reason why you couldn't get a fire going. And when they come to put it out, they can rescue you. That's it. So just kind of a quick tip. All right, let's wrap it up. So that's about that. Nothing super complicated there, but sometimes nice to be reminded of these things. There's things we didn't really think about if you don't come from a strong automotive background. With winter coming, every year, I think this is the first year that I haven't done the emergency winter car kit, but I usually do one of those. Maybe I put a link at the end of this to one of those. With winter coming, especially if you live in rural areas, I've always held the belief that we have as capable men and husbands and fathers, and we have a responsibility to be prepared not only for our own families but for people we might come into contact with. So make sure you put those emergency kits together. It's the time of year where snow could happen to just about any of us that live in the colder climates, and we want to be prepared. So I've got several of them. There's a lot of good ones out there. But have those things ready. Have the ability to get a guy up out of the ditch. Have the ability to dig a little bit of snow. Have some blankets. Have some first aid kit. Because typically, guys like us that are prepared and have taken matters into our hands are not usually the ones that need the help. It's folks that just don't, or older folks and stuff. So I can tell you, as a first responder, just a blanket. If you come upon a car wreck or an older couple that slipped off into the ditch and the car isn't running because the radiator's in the fan and all that, and they've been sitting there for an hour, a blanket goes a long ways. So have wool blankets in there, have an extra change of clothing, have gloves, have something that you can lay down on and not get wet, and your tools and retrieval stuff, and just put it together. I've got lots of videos on that, so it doesn't cost much, and it's just something that you want to make sure you do. Have a little extra gas and some food and that sort of thing, and some first aid stuff. So, yeah, let me know if you have any. If you want to give me an impossible situation, like we did today, I'll be happy to do videos and see if I can't figure out ways to get out of them. Might be kind of some fun videos to mix in from time to time. But let me know your scenarios, and I'll, if they're good ones, I'll do videos on them and give you guys credit. So thanks for watching. May God bless you and your family. Oh, Jack's first wrestling matches today. We're going to be leaving here in about 45 minutes, and I hope he does well. He missed a bunch of practices because of different things, so I don't know how he is up on his skills, but he's got tenacity and he's pretty strong. So, well, if he doesn't mind, I'll share a little video of his first match in the next couple videos or so. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.